Hello, my name is Anubhav and I'm Technical Marketing Engineer working for Security Business Group. In this video, I will talk about next generation firewall installation in Azure. I'll start off with this video with overview of NGFW in Azure, and then at the end of the video, I will show you step-by-step installation procedure of next generation firewall. We started supporting next generation firewall from version 6.2. Today, you can deploy NGFW in Azure. However, FMC is not part of Azure today. You can use on-prem FMC or FMC available in AWS to manage your NGFW firewall, which is running in Azure. We support a standard D3 instance which has 4 interfaces today. First 2 interfaces are going to be used by management, and remaining 2 interfaces are data interfaces. So you can use interface ETH2 for as an external interface, ETH3 as internal interface. When I talk about licensing, we support BYOL using smart licensing. So you can use smart licensing and assign license to your next generation firewall running in Azure. Apart from that, recently there is an enhancement on Azure side. You can now have multiple public IP addresses on the workload running in Azure. So using that particular feature, we can now assign one IP address to management interface, which will be used for management of the device. Other IP addresses assigned to NIC2 of the device, which is outside interface. And I will show you use cases in upcoming slide. So this is the first use case that we have for next generation firewall in Azure. In this use case, we have next generation firewall deployed as an edge device where users from internet will hit public IP address on the device, on the NIC2 of the device, and they can access internal resources. On the other hand, NIC0 will have another public IP address which is used for management of the device. You can have on-prem FMC, or you can use FMC running in AWS. The other use case is site-to-site VPN use case, where you can bring up a LAN-to-LAN tunnel between your corporate data center and the next generation firewall running in Azure. So I'll just go ahead and pause this video, and I will take you to portal.azure.com, and I will show you step-by-step installation procedure of next generation firewall. Welcome back. I'm now connected to portal.azure.com, and I will show you how to install next generation firewall in Azure. So I'll just click new. I'll search for Cisco Firepower next generation firewall virtual. This is the marketplace listing for next generation firewall, which is known as Cisco Firepower next generation firewall virtual. So I'll click here, click create. In name of the virtual machine, I will type FTDv 001. Username, I'm going to use my username. Make sure that you specify complex password, otherwise it will not let you go ahead. And I will deploy new resource group. You can use existing resource group as well. I will select a location as West Central US. I'll click OK. Now on this page, I will select virtual machine size. So we have D3 instance, D3 V2 instance. I'll select that. I'm going to use existing storage account. You can create another storage account as well. So I'm going to use my existing storage account. I'll assign 2 public IP addresses on the appliance, one for management interface and one for external interface. So I'll just name this IP address as FTDv 001-IP1. I'll use static. This is the DNS name that I'm going to use for this device, or DNS label. I'll create new VNet, or I can place it in the existing VNet as well. Just to show you how we need to define VNet, I'll just go ahead and create a new VNet for you. Okay, so now I'm back here. So I'll just go ahead and name it as FTDv-VNet. I'll use 82 .00/16. I'll click OK. Now I'll create subnet. So first interface is my management interface, so I'll just type management/24. Second interface is diagnostic interface, so I'll just use it as diag, and I'll use 1.0. Third interface is external interface or outside interface. I'll use 2.0 for this interface. And fourth interface is inside, so I'll use, or internal interface, I'll use inside, and 3.0. I'll click OK. Click OK again. On this summary page, it is running some validation in the background, and once this is done, I'll see this OK button, so I'll just click OK now. Now I'll click purchase. So if you see here on right hand side, deployment is now getting initiated. So this process will take up to 5 minutes. So I'll just go ahead and pause this video, and once this appliance is up, I will resume. Welcome back. Next generation firewall virtual is now installed. I'll go to this resource group and show you properties of this device. I'll start off with NIC0. NIC0 is management interface of this virtual appliance. On this virtual appliance, I have 10.0.82.04 IP address on the interface, and which is mapped to public IP address 13.78.177.148. By default, when you deploy this device, you will get only one public IP address, and that public IP address is mapped to a NIC0 interface. NIC1 is a diagnostic interface, and in this demo, I'm using NIC2 as outside interface and NIC3 as inside interface. So I'm going to assign another IP address on NIC2 so that I can terminate my VPN tunnel directly on this interface. So I'll not showcase termination of VPN tunnel as part of this demo, but I'll just show you how to add another public IP address here. So we need to first go to interface, and from interface we'll go to IP config, and we'll click IP config 1. Select enable here and click IP address, create new. So I'll just name this IP as FTD001-IP2. I'll use static IP address for this demo. I'll click OK. I'll click save. So this will take another 30 to 40 seconds. So in the meantime, I'll go here and I will show you security group, network security group on this device. So if I go here, I can see that by default SSH port UDP 500 and 4500 are allowed for VPN connectivity, and 22 is allowed for SSH. So in order to manage this device, we need to use FMC, which is out of the Azure platform. So I need to enable TCP port 8305 as well. So I will just click add. I will name this rule as allow 8305. I'll just give it priority 003. Source any TCP. And I'll just type port number 8305, allow, and I'll click OK. So this rule is now added, and once this rule is added, I can go ahead and add it on FMC. But before I do that, I will just click this resource group again. I will quickly go ahead and verify public IP address on NIC2 of the device as well. So now we have this IP address here, and if I go to this NIC1, I have a public IP address assigned on the NIC0 as well. This IP address is used for managing the device. So I'll just go ahead and manage this device or SSH this device using default username admin, and default password for the device is admin with capital A and 123. The moment I'll do that, it will ask me to enter new password, so I'll just go ahead and do that. Now I'm connected to the device. I'll just type yes. I'll select default options, so it will pick all the addresses which we have configured in the visit. So I'll just select default options here. So I'll just select all the default values here. I will select routed mode. Transparent mode is not supported in cloud as of now, so we can ignore that and just select routed mode. Once this config is done, we will add this device into FMC running in cloud. So I have FMC running in AWS and public address is, so I'll just go ahead and copy this address and I'll just go back to the appliance. It is still in the configuration mode, so I'll just give it some time. In the meantime, I'll just log into my FMC. This FMC is running at AWS, so I'm using this elastic IP address or public IP address to manage this FMC. So I'll go to this FMC, click device management, and I have enabled the eval license on this FMC, so I'll just go ahead and click add device. So here I need to specify IP address of my next generation firewall, which is, I'll just copy this IP address from here and go back to FMC. I'll just paste it. I'll name it as Azure. I'll just give key as Cisco. This is default policy which I have created. I'll use it. Before I click register, I need to go back to my next generation firewall. In here, I need to specify configure manager address, and then I'll just go back to the screen. I'll copy this address from here, and I'll just use Cisco as my key, and then because I have a NATed IP address on the device, I'll just give NAT ID as well. So I'll just give Cisco as my NAT ID. I'll just hit enter on this device. This will take 30 to 40 seconds. In the meantime, I'll just go back to my FMC screen and I'll go to advanced option. In NAT ID, I will specify Cisco, and I'll go back here and wait for some time. Okay, so now this information is added. I can just go back to my FMC and I'll click register. So now this will take 30 to 40 seconds or maybe 1 or 2 minutes, but depending upon the config we have there, it will see. Okay, so now it's getting registered. So you can see this registration message here. So soon we'll be able to see next generation firewall on FMC. So I'll just pause this video. Once this device is completely registered, I'll just resume. Welcome back. Now next generation firewall is added to FMC. I'll just click OK here or edit. In edit, you will see that there is no config on interfaces. So I'll just click edit. Mode none. Interface name, I'll name it as outside. Enable it. Zone outside. You need to create zones on the device, so I have outside zone. I will use it. For IP address, I need to go back to my device in Azure, and I need to see what IP address is there on NIC0. So it is 1082.2.4. So I'll assign 1082.2.4/24. I'll click OK. I'll assign IP address on inside interface as well. So I'll enable this interface and I will put it in zone inside. 1082.3.4/24. 24. Before I click OK, I'll just go back there in this device and I'll verify this IP. So it is 1082.34. So I'll just go back here, 1082.34. Okay, so I'll click OK now. I will go to routing part as well. Before I go to routing part, I will click OK. Or save, just to save this config. And let me go back to interfaces, see if those things are there. Yeah, I'll go to routing. Under routing, I'll just go to static routes and I'll add a default gateway here as well. So I'll click add route, 10 interface outside 10.0.0.0 slash dot 0 slash 0. I'll click add gateway 1082.2.1. I'll just change matrix to 2 because there is another default route which is pointing towards management side of the interface. So I'm using higher matrix here. I will not do any kind of tracking. I will just click OK. I will click save. And then I will go ahead and click deploy, and I will just deploy this to my next generation firewall running there in Azure. Once FMC is done pushing config to next generation firewall, you will notice that there is a critical alert on the device. So you can go to this health status here and you will see that interface gig 0/0, and soon you will see 0/1. All these two interfaces will not receive any data. So in order to fix this particular problem, you need to go back to next generation firewall resource group in Azure, and you need to look at the route table. So if you go to route table of outside, you will see that it is pointing to itself. So there is a default route which is pointing to the IP 1082 for 1082.24, which is IP address of the interface itself. We need to get rid of this default route here. So this will take a couple of seconds, so I'll just go ahead and delete it. Similarly, I will go back to inside interface route table as well, and I will go ahead and delete this route. So once you have deleted both routes, both default routes from route table inside and route table outside, you need to wait a couple of seconds to make sure that the health of the device is perfectly fine. So I'll go to FMC once again, and I'll go to device management. You can see now device is healthy and both interfaces are now normal, so there is no error now. Since device is now normal, I'll just go back and go to CLI of NGFW. I'll go to support or system support diagnostic CLI, and I will enter into the CLI of next generation firewall. In the meantime, I will verify public IP address on the device. So 13.78.182.146. This IP address is assigned to NIC2, which is outside interface of the device. So I'm now into diagnostic CLI. I will type debug ICMP trace, and I will initiate ping for the ping for public IP address which is assigned on NIC2 which is outside interface. See, I'm getting reply here, and this reply is coming from the correct interface. So I'll just go ahead and stop this ping and undebug all. And I'll go ahead and stop this ping. So this is how you deploy next generation firewall in Azure and manage it using external FMC. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.